the Wildlife Observer Network.
All right. Hello and welcome to Birding Punks. I'm Tony Croasdale with Paul Riss. This is the logo. I don't know if this is an actual official logo or something you just whipped up real quick. So hope I'm not using this prematurely, but I liked it.
Yeah, it's fine. I did whip it up real quick, but I mean, you know, it has an aesthetic we're looking for.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we can replace it in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're here to discuss. Lots of punk bands use birds in their imagery and their logos, and we're here to evaluate them and to talk about what we think they are, what you think they're going for, maybe some themes we see used throughout punk records. So without further ado, I think if you're going to talk punk birds, then the logical place to start, and there's no real order other than this. I put a call out to a message board that I'm on for some that I hadn't thought of yet, and I got quite a few from that. Cool. And then Paul, of course, gave me some. So let's. I think if we're going to start, we start with discharge. So,
I mean, I have immediate feelings of what kind of bird it is, but
yeah, I think this is discharge. Kind of started this aesthetic. They started the sound. I mean, when it comes to like this kind of punk, this heavy sound, I mean, it's not just political. It's like depressing political, like it's apocalyptic. Not necessarily like some bands like Crass and Conflict and some other contemporaries are way more like, here's some ideas of what we can do about it. This is kind of just like we're living in the imminent fear of nuclear war.
Yeah, everything is fucked.
Yeah, it's stark, depressing. And then they weren't also like a lot of other bands were also kind of more like, well, everything's fucked, so we might as well have a good time and like party and stuff. These were just kind of like very serious, but not necessarily like, you know, giving you like a whole like political dog, you know, like a diatribe. It's just like, you know, there's lyrics like haikus, they're very stark. And so this is actually borrowed, I think, from like anti-war. I don't think this was made for the band. I think they appropriated it from some like art book or something. I think this is an image another artist made. So it's obviously a generic like domestic dove. Probably, I'm not sure what the original stock of those doves were. Eurasian collar doves or something, but turtle doves. But yeah, so this is a bayonet through a dove. And never again. I think it's pretty clear. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, there's not a lot of room for misinterpreting the message.
Yeah. I'm going to put a timer on because we're using the free version of Zoom.
So we got 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
That works well for me. I got a lot of things to do today.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So Poison Girls, early 80s British peace punk band. So I'm calling this a crow, but you know, I'm up to interpretation on here. Looks kind of a lot like a nutcracker proportionally, but I doubt they're going for that.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, it seems like a crow is the right thing to do, but I mean, who knows? Maybe they were looking at jackdaws. I don't know.
They are in England, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But I would go with crow on this one too. But what I like about what they did with it was they took the feathers and they kind of also gave it a little bit of a flame kind of a feeling to it. You know, they stylized it a bit. They also made it squinting, and who knows, maybe there's some information, something behind that. Like if you took this same image from a graphic design standpoint and you made the eye round, wouldn't work as well.
Yeah.
So somebody made that decision and it was the right one.
And Paul's does design, so he should.
That's my side of it.
Yeah.
You know the punk more than me. I know the design.
NAUSEA, Extinction. they actually have a song called "A Blackened Dove," so I think it's clearly another Dove. This band is very, very influenced by Discharge. So yeah,
it feels like it.
Yeah. I did a NAUSEA cover band for Halloween like 3 years ago. 3 years ago. This coming Halloween, I think, or no, 4 years ago. It's been a while. I did it right before I met my wife. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, this was fun. With John from Baroness played guitar, and my friend Nicole, who used to sing and play guitar in Witch Hunt, was the other singer because it's a male-female singer. My friend Derek plays drums. He's also in Citizen's Arrest. And Nicole's husband, Patrick, played bass. So yeah, so NAUSEA's near to my heart. New York City, hardcore, New York City crust punk from the mid-'80s until the very early '90s. And their record, they have a live dove on, like, flying on their as a logo as well. So, but I don't think I included that. So here's a band from Sweden, G-Anks, and I think their name is like more or less translates to angry ducks. I think Anks, is duck in Latin or Swedish or something. Or however, I would not call that a duck in their logo.
No, that I'm definitely going towards they're a gull or seabird of some kind.
Yeah, I think very much a gull. So this band's awesome band. I was a big fan of them back in the day. Again, like mid-'80s, really fast hardcore punk. I actually have two of the records here because this is what I mean. You can't argue with this. Like they really went for it. And
I wonder though, like, did they take the picture? Did they? Because if they did, then it's definitely not an Anhinga, but it's a darter of some kind.
Yeah. I mean, so it's Anhinga species. So, we call so it's either there's four: the American darter, the African, the I'm trying to remember. There's Australian, and then there's the Indian. Yeah, Indian darter. Yeah. So
there's an Indian one.
Yeah. So in fact, Bull, his tattoos is a lot of people think he has an Anhinga. He actually has an Indian darter because we saw them in Sri Lanka. So I've actually cleaned up my darters. I got all 4 darters now.
Oh, that's cool. I still only have an Anhinga because I haven't been to the places.
Yeah.
Or encountered one when I've been in the places. I also really I love this composition. I really like this image. I remember when you fired it off to me as an example of the thing, I was like, this is super cool. I love the color. There's a lot of awesomeness to this record cover. Great.
I don't feel like I think this is maybe the pinnacle. We should have saved this for last. So let's see what else we got here. Well, Crow and their logo is a pretty accurate crow, I think. The jungle crow is the species in Japan. That would be it. Yeah.
Is that the one that drops the nuts on the ground to let the cars run them over?
Yeah, there might be more than one species in Japan. I can grab the field guide, but
I don't know Japanese birds that well, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think there's large-billed crow, jungle crow, there's house crow. I mean, they have big ports, so house crows kind of get everywhere. So, and of course, there's ravens there too. So, pretty obvious what they're going for there.
Yep. One only needs to read it.
So, Battle Disarm, another Japanese hardcore punk band. I'm assuming this is a Dove, kind of inspired by, Discharge. So.
Yeah, they brought the texture. They brought that texture of the outside of the circle in their little anarchy system here that they built. They brought that texture to the shape of the bird.
Yeah,
so it's stylized again, but makes most sense to be a dove.
Yeah, we're gonna see. I think we're gonna get sick of doves and corvids in a little bit. So this is probably this is the band that is most associated with bird logos, I think. I think this is ubiquitous, and even though other bands had logos before, they used doves or crows here or there. I feel like Tragedy really, in the early 2000s when they debuted this logo, people really copied this and went nuts with it. I'm calling this is either a parrot or a pheasant. I don't know what else it would be. All right. This looks like a macaw to me. What do you think?
Yeah, that's where I would have put it too. When I first saw this one, I was curious why they would do that. I mean, do you know these guys?
Oh yeah. I'm really good friends with them. Like the drummer came to my wedding. Like we're like tight. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. You should ask them like what they were doing, what they were going for, because I wonder if thought went into it or if it was just like, yeah, we want a ragged bird.
I think the one of the guitar players, the guitar player who doesn't sing, who just plays guitar, Yannick. He I think he drew it, and unfortunately Yannick is very, very quiet. I don't think I could get him on. Paul, the drummer, I could get easily. He's a really good friend of mine, and very, very talkative. Because if they're going, it's not a bird of prey, because if this was a bird, if anything, it'd be a wedge-tailed eagle, but the wings are way too short. So this to me is clearly a parrot. In fact, I've even like overlaid like a macaw over this, and it's like almost perfect. But I don't think they're probably going for like some kind of like corvid or hawk, and just
yeah, I think so. But I like that it could be a parrot.
I keep saying I'm gonna get like this logo tattooed on me, but filled in with like a parrot, and I can't never actually do it. So
just that exact shape, and then get the artist to fill it in with a macaw's color pattern.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. You should do them on two sides, like one over here if you don't got room over there, but like if you had opposite sides, maybe on the leg or something. One is just the silhouette like this, and the other one is the macaw.
I've when R.A.M.B.O was well, we're kind of still together, but we were like really, really together in terms of like making shirts and stuff. I was considering making a parody of this, but like turning it into like adding like a flamingo like a neck and legs to it, and then writing R.A.M.B.O like this, and just write Spring Break and just like in pink, like I thought that would be
amazing.
Yeah,
I love that. Well, this is a super strong logo for a punk band.
They kind of nailed it.
It's up there with Black Flag's for things. It's like it's really powerful and iconic. I like it a lot.
Yeah. This is the stinger for our Wildlife Observer Network it comes from a His Heroes Gone song, and 3 of the members of His Heroes Gone went on to be in tragedy. So
cool.
Yeah, so the
also awesome band. I mean, for me on this one, it looks like it's a crucified vulture of some kind.
Yeah, I would think it looks like very much like a vulture. I mean, just generic bird of prey, but the feet don't look. You don't see the halix or whatever. Like it doesn't look. The feet don't look particularly raptorial. So I would say a vulture. Again, I don't know what they're going for. I could ask them. But yeah.
I love this too. I love that one too.
Yeah. Omega Tribe, early 80s peace punk band from England. Again, this is just a generic dove, I would say.
Yeah, that definitely a dove.
Yeah, but cool design.
Yeah, I like it. I like the fact that they kind of brought some like they put a little bit of teeth on it, so to speak, like not real teeth, but like teeth, with the pointy top wings, little Batman-y kind of thing going on. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and
I also love I love this typeface that those guys used. I mean, it's so
So this
wicked.
So this typeface, that's so this was a release on Crass Records, and Crass Records only put out, so that's the Crass font, and Crass only put out 7 inches, and everything had a circle with that font in it, no matter what band it was. They had to fit their logo into that. So, and we'll actually, I think we'll see that in another record a little bit. So, again, this is the next one too, the Mob. And this record is actually called "No Doves Fly Here," and again, it's on Crash Records, so it has the same font. I mean, this is just ridiculous. This is a person with bird wings, but they have a record called "No Doves Fly Here," so this is like a sad dove person, I guess. But the wings look like a gull. Actually, if you look at the wings, they look like they're taken from a gull because they have the gray mantle, the black tips, and the white windows. It looks like a gull wing to me.
Yeah, totally. It also is feels a little bit like Icarus. You know what I mean? Like I don't know this band actually, so I can't say.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Early 80s peace punk. Yeah, they loved their dubs and burn images, but this is definitely gull wings.
Yeah.
So this is like early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, like really fast hardcore punk, like political anarchist punk from South Carolina. And generic, probably appropriated logo from some sort of, could be, I don't know if they came up with it themselves. I actually have met a couple of the members. I can ask. Might be like a Native American or some kind of a logo that they, imagery.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to take a guess at. I don't know what they're going for. I think it looks like something, but you tell me what you think.
Okay, so I have something in my head as well. So you have a little more world birding experience than me, but when I look at this, the big eye sort of thing and the feathers coming off the back, I go to a secretary bird's head.
Ooh.
Like thin neck, but you might have Asian birds that are closer.
You know what's funny? I got a Roadrunner feel from this.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
totally. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just kind of assuming this is like even though they're from South Carolina, I'm assuming this logo kind of feels like something I would see on like pottery from New Mexico or something. So I don't know. Kind of got a Roadrunner image in my head, but who knows what they're going for?
Yeah. But I also really like it. I think you could this is a wicked punk logo. You could totally put this on a European football team's jersey, dude. Like it looks like a soccer ball. Like there's something about the icon, the shapes of it, and everything. It's a really good logo. I love it.
My friend has this tattoo. His entire back is this. It's crazy.
Looks like
my friend, his entire he put out their records, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, it's awesome.
Amazing.
Again, Crash Records. This is the Flux of Pink Indians, early '80s peace punk band. Their song "Tube Disasters" is a classic. So I don't know. This is some kind of like a cock of the rock. This is some kind of stylized tribal bird. But kind of looks like Mohican. Has a mohawk on it. So I don't know if it's like a bird with a mohawk on it, or if it's supposed to be a crested bird. But
or it could be a human being dressed in regalia. Mohican regalia to look like a bird. When you go to powwows, everybody wears a regalia, and a lot of times they'll have the headdresses with the feathers and all that kind of stuff.
And one of their songs starts out with a poem, and the song "Tube Disasters." I think it actually New Smell is a poem. It leads into tube disasters, like TUBE, about subway disasters in England, and it starts out. You can hear in the background carrying crows. So in the sample, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Right. R.A.M.B.O. Scarum. Now this band, this logo is very reminiscent of the Poison Girls logo, and
sure is.
And I think and R.A.M.B.O. Scarum, I think, is very influenced by Poison Girls. So it makes sense. This band's from Portland. I don't think they're still around. They're around in the early 2000s. Excellent band. Highly recommend this record.
Cool.
I love this. This is Crude from Japan, and these look like I'm saying ostrich chicks, or maybe some other ratite, Rias, or emus or whatever. But emus, don't say emu to an Australian; they get really mad. It's emu. If you don't say the mu, if you say emu, they get really mad.
Yeah, like it's phonetically, it's EMEW.
Yeah,
emu. When you first sent the thing and I was tapping through this, I was like, "Oh, are those bustards?" But not so much.
Yeah, and if you see
big legs,
the actual record is clearly like I think they're some kind of young of a rat type, probably an ostrich, but who knows?
Yeah.
Another Japanese band. This looks like a buzzard of some sort, like what we'd call a buteo, like something in the genus buteo. This looks like like a broad-winged, broad-tailed bird of prey.
Yeah.
So breaking.
They got a little light on the bill, but you get it.
Yeah.
You know what they're going for.
Maybe that could be a Oriental honey buzzard. They have pretty small bills, Yeah. Not possible.
I also like that one a lot too.
Yeah. So I was trying to find like a non-t-shirt version of this. I actually knew. This is a little sad. I actually know I was involved with bringing the Amoebics over for their U.S. tour. And, they were banned from 78 till 87. And then they toured again in the early 2000s. And I actually was pen pals with the singer who now makes swords in Scotland and singer, guitar, and bass player. And hooked him up with my partner in doing shows, Greg, who does tours, brought him over. And it was phenomenal. They were great. We had a blast with them. And I actually asked him in person what this was, because he lives on the Isle of Skye. I figured it was maybe a white-tailed eagle or golden eagle or something. He said it was a raven. When they released a new record in the 2000s, it had an image of a crow on it, or a raven, or corvid. But this to me clearly has a hooked bill, and I was kind of bummed because I really thought it was an eagle. And he said it was a raven. Yeah. So he says it's a raven. I think he drew it too. Sad thing is, the singer of this band, they call him the Baron, he got super into conspiracy theories, and his new band Tal Cross, they're on Relapse Records, and he thanked, and everybody had their own personal thanks list, and he thanked, I forget who the guy was, and then people pointed out that the guy he thanked wrote these like Holocaust denial books. And then so Relapse pulled the record, and the rest of his band, I know that some of the bandmate members, and they were like, they had no idea, because it was a project between guys from like Canada. It was a guy from Voivod, your home band there.
Yep.
A guy from Voivod, two guys from one guy from Misery, a guy from another band in Minneapolis. So two guys from Minneapolis, one guy from England, and one guy from Canada. So I guess they weren't like, you could know each other but not know whatever, And so so I know he got super into conspiracy theories, and like, I don't know, if you're into conspiracy theories, you have an intellectual insecurity, and you're looking for something to make you feel like, oh, you figured something out. It's one of the things I hate most about punk is the belief in it's question authority, not the authorities, right? Don't question expertise and science and peer-reviewed research. Like, obviously question everything, but like at some point you need expertise to help you make decisions. So you have to trust in institutions to give you correct info. Otherwise everybody's on their own and we can't do anything. So so these people who like believe in 9/11 and conspiracies and global warming's a hoax and all this QAnon, all this bullshit, I think they like, it's like a drug, and they get further down rabbit holes, and then eventually they end up in some sick shit. And I'm not making excuses for the guy. It just breaks my heart. I actually wrote an open letter to him about it. So it's just very sad. But his brother, who's in the band as well, the guitar player of the band, he's like, I do not believe in what he's saying. I'm against it. And remember, I was in the band as well, and I wrote a lot of the songs as well. So don't, but this is my favorite band of all time. And so it's kind of heartbreaking. I haven't listened to them since I found out that. I don't know if I ever will, but it's heartbreaking. All right. This is classic, and I think it's pretty obvious what this is here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. It's probably taken from like an old patriotic, logo, But yeah.
Like an old tattoo kind of a thing.
So this is another band from Japan. And these look to me to be cranes, which makes a lot of sense. Cranes, the tancho is very important in the Japanese culture. I had the good fortune of going to Hokkaido and seeing the red-crowned cranes. Is a big population of several species of cranes winter in Japan. It's very culturally important. One thing that drives me crazy is when you see you often see in like Chinese restaurants, some like Japanese restaurants will have like these tapestries or these images of cranes or like on something, and they make it look like they have these like black big bushy tails, and in cranes was when they fold their wings, their tertials like kind of like form a bustle behind the bird, but it's part of the wing, and so they'll have a bird flying with like a big bushy black tail and like totally white wings, and really it's the wing feathers that look like a tail when its wings are folded up. It drives me crazy.
The way they kind of hang down.
And,
we had cranes flying over here not too long ago. It's that time of year.
That's still a bogey bird for me in Philadelphia. I still have not got sandhill crane. We get them flying over here or there. I haven't got one yet. I have Inhinga for Philadelphia, but not sandhill crane. It's just strange.
Saturday I was sitting out just watching the sky from my yard, and a bunch of broadwing hawks, like easily over 100, kettle of over 100 coming by, 2 kettles. And there was one bird in there that was, I didn't have my scope. All I had was my binoculars, and they were quite high. But there was one bird in there that looked like, if I was in Florida, I would have said that's an Anhinga. And I know sometimes they do show up. I didn't report it or anything. First of all, because I don't need people traveling around during a global pandemic.
Yeah.
But second of all, I wasn't sure. I mean, it could have just been a cormorant, but I've seen a lot of cormorants because we're so close to Lake Ontario. I've seen them fly over the yard a fair bit, but this thing was circling with the other hawks. There was 2 red tails, a couple turkey vultures.
It's very good behavior for anything. They certainly do that. So
yeah, I immediately called my buddy, and we were chatting about that because he lives like probably about 5 miles away to the direction they were traveling, because they were going on the south side of Lake Ontario there. But he never managed to find it. He went out in his yard. He found those birds, but he didn't find that one strange thing. So
yeah,
it's just like from far away, I couldn't tell the bill shape. You know what I mean?
I know, that's the worst. I still don't have common loon for Philly. I know I've seen them. I just don't have it recorded. And I had like a loon. I was waiting for the bus by the river, and I had a loon fly down, and I just didn't get my bins out quick enough to get on it to tell. I was almost certainly a common, but I can't. It's more. But I think because the red-throated I saw was like more notable that I recorded it, and I just like all the commons I've seen on the river or whatever, I just can't pinpoint. So and I just can't remember specifically. So I'm not counting that I've seen a common loon in Philly until I know. Gives me something to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly.
Another Japanese band, SDS. They're even. This is clearly a dove, and it's funny. Their logo, their font is totally taken from Anti-Sect, and a British peace punk band, and kind of like proto-crusty band from the early '80s.
Yeah.
This is a band from Denmark. I think I actually know these folks, but it's been a long time. And generic bird skeleton things. I guess crows, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't say for sure, but they do remind me in style of that Jim Henson Muppet, those Skeksis.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those like weird murmuring dinosaur bird things. And these guys like used a very similar font. It's not the same, but very similar font to Crass Records too. Yeah.
R.A.M.B.O from Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
So the Awakening from Columbus, Ohio. So this is a little bit of a tease. I put the bat in here too. I was actually my friend Dennis, who's in his band. I was talking with him about this, and he mentioned the Awakening, and and then I posted a picture of he like sheepishly mentioned his own band, and then I replied, I was like, dude, that's a bat, not a bird. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then I posted a picture of the bat, and then we all had a laugh. But then he's like, oh yeah, we had another logo, and so this is it. And he reminded me one time R.A.M.B.O played, and we do these theatrics, and I unleashed a plague of punk birds upon, like, I don't know, the Bush administration or something, and so I had all these people dressed up as like the punk birds, like a lot of these logos you've seen, and one of them was this one, and I'm calling this is like I guess this is a generic long-legged wading bird, in either an egret or a heron or a crane. That's what I would say. How about you? Those are clearly feet and not tail feathers, right? Right? I would call Otherwise, it'd maybe be an anhinga or a sunbinner or something. But I'm thinking this is a crane.
I'm happy with crane on this. Crane or heron. Yeah, for sure.
Its neck is a bit curved, so it could be going for a heron, but it's probably a crane.
Yep.
I had to put my own band on here.
Of course. And
so there's a logo of a crow on a skull, and I couldn't find the original T-shirt design, so this is after my friends. That's my friend Greg down the bottom and he's in the Philippines with my friend Jeff, who's wearing the Pantera shirt.
Right.
This is in the Philippines, so they sent that to me. I thought that was cool.
That's good.
And then here's our split. So then below is our split with Caustic Christ, and we did. So each side of the record has a artwork by the band, but with both logos. So the Caustic Christ side has like a very John Pettibone, Black Flag-esque looking kind of cover, and then ours is our friend at the time, Mike Bukowski, did this, and it's George Bush being ripped apart by Arctic animals, and there's a snowy owl in there. And we also had a logo with a bald eagle like shitting on a globe, like it's like an American logo, and I can't find that anywhere. So
that's a good idea though.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think this is one of the best bird images in punk / metal. I guess they walked the line there.
This is a great picture.
Yeah.
I love it.
And John, he's a friend, so John is the main songwriter and singer in Baroness. He does their artwork, and I've actually gotten him access to the Academy of Natural Sciences to get in there because I have friends that work there and looked at some skins and stuff. But
cool.
Yeah, so this is the double crested cormorant, and I think it's great. It's very accurate, but composition stylized. So I think it's a great one.
Yeah, it's really good, and I love the mushrooms and the bone coming out of it. And if this is a shirt that's available somewhere, I will be looking around for it.
It is, and I ordered it. Yeah, so
yeah, it's pretty great. Send me the link.
We'll do.
Okay.
So token entry, New York City hardcore. So this is our timer. We should wrap up. So I think we're almost done anyway. New York City hardcore from the late '80s, and clearly a bald eagle ripping it on a skateboard. But,
I find it very funny that your phone made what sounded like a red-tailed hawk scream when there was a bald eagle.
Yeah,
like every movie out there.
Yep. That's too funny. That's so true.
Awesome.
You said this one, and what's this and the next one, which is the Clash. The last two images crack me up because Dead Kennedys is from San Francisco. Yeah. And it's clearly old world vultures behind it, right? So
those are not the kind of vultures we have.
Yeah, these look like griffin vultures or some other kind of
African, Asian kind of thing.
European vulture. Yeah,
there was a good chunk of time where I listened to this record every single morning.
It's an incredible record. Yeah,
it's fucking amazing.
There's I have on Facebook. You find an old picture of me wearing this shirt.
Nice.
And then the Clash from England, but yet what are you calling these? I'm calling these black vultures.
I was going to say black vultures. So what they need to do is just Photoshop these ones over on the dead Kennedys thing.
Yeah.
And vice versa. But yeah, I love this one too. Just the colors are great.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't really argue with the Clash. I think that's it. Someone posted the the Cockspar logo, which is just like wings in the logo with kind of blood. But I mean, the name's called Cockspar. Cock is about cockfighting, so it's clearly a chicken. And there's a few bands that kind of use like a Daffy, like Larm from LARM from Holland, and they have like a stylized Daffy Duck. So they're kind of like but they're clearly like more of the cartoon rather than the thing. So I think we covered. I think we've seen that punk bands are really focused on doves and corvids, specifically ravens and crows. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
And I guess after that would be birds of prey and then wading birds. So I'd like to see some shorebirds, some more passerines, maybe we have a parrot with tragedy.
Yeah, maybe. But I find it interesting when you're looking at all of the ones. Those like, there's these birds that are all about peace, doves and cranes and elegance and peace, and then there's the other side of the coin where it's about much more aggressive, like the crows and the corvids, sort of symbolizing violence and death and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But those two worlds, that's interesting about punk, is like there's, on the surface, if you don't pay attention to what's being said on the surface, a lot of people think, well, it's just a bunch of angry people.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, maybe so, but it's angry people with a thing to say that would endorse peace before anything else, right? So
absolutely. Indeed.
All right.
So the next episode is probably going to come out before this. I actually did an interview with Jeff Swilk from Orny Photo. Because I don't like to mix up interviews. It's like I like to give people choice of an interview or discussion. And so I interviewed him, and he's we mentioned him in our first episode. He's punk rocker out in Oregon and does these beautiful wildlife photos. But he started photographing the fascist movement in Pacific Northwest, like the Proud Boys and the Patriot Prayer, and exposing like they like to pretend they're not Nazis. They're full on fascists, and they're a danger to our society. And he's documenting them. So it's interesting that like he's used his like, obviously if you're a punk rocker, you're privy to a bit of the underworld, even the underworld you disagree with. And so, and punks are often in the front lines of fighting fascism. But before they were just Nazis, and the mainstream didn't really embrace them. But now they've got a bit more media savvy, and people don't seem to understand the true danger of what they are. I mean, they're just basically weaponizing frustrated young men and using them as foot soldiers, or they're like being manipulated by these like alt-right media personalities. They're just looking for an audience, and they do a real good job of propaganda, and a lot of people who know better, they don't seem to understand their danger, and they all seem to understand that the resistance to them is important. So we talked about that. So I think you're going to kick out of that. And
definitely.
So, all right. So because we're limited by Zoom, we're going to wrap this up. I hope you all enjoyed it. And we'll talk in a week or so for another episode.
All right, man.
All right, buddy. Cheers.
Okay. Bye-bye. Have a good day. Take it easy.
And I got to figure out how to stop recording.
That I don't know.
Yeah.